in Israel, in a location that I am not usually in. I've just got done doing things that I don't enjoy doing because someone has to do it for the for the state, really. And I got to tell you, after what I've just seen, my optimism for Israel to stay out of more fighting with regards to the ongoing war in Gaza and in Lebanon uh, is greatly reduced. I think, based on what I've just seen, the probability is significantly high that we are going to see Israel and its belligerent enemies re-engaged in a state of violence, in all likelihood. And while I don't exactly want to say when, but I think it's kind of obvious. Let's just say anywhere from within 1 to 6 weeks from now. And if I had to bet on it, I would say it would probably be depending on one of two factors, it'll probably be sooner rather than later. But if some things play out, it'll probably be on the later side. But I am not hopeful of that at the moment. And it's very sad. It's very sad what's happening. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to convince you that Israel is going to lose this war or anything. Not at all. Kinetically, Israel has already won the war. But the fact that there's going to need to be more is not something I'm particularly looking forward to. And I also feel bad for, I think anybody would, right? The innocent civilians. And by the way, the innocent soldiers who are conscripted into their job, whether they like it or not, they are conscripted into service by the state, many of whom, they're happy to serve because it's required by the state, but they would prefer to not have to serve, right? As most people would prefer not to have to serve. Because when you have to serve, it means that there is a requirement that is necessary for such a service in the first place. And that is something I think most people would prefer did not exist. Am I 90 years old? Do I sound like I'm 90 years old? Well, no, I'm not 90 years old, but I feel like I've lived 1,000 years in some ways. There are some things that some things people live through that can make you sound and feel and look older than you might be. I might have survived some of those things myself. I dare say I have. But I would have it no other way, in the sense of I'm happy to have done what I've had to do. And I'm happy to keep doing it. Because again, somebody needs to. Did I hear what? Donald Trump, when he said he found someone on Social Security collecting a check once you. Okay, there's nobody collecting checks at 300 years old. Obviously, there's nobody alive who's 300 years old. There's nobody who's marked that's 300 years old. That was simply the people on Elon Musk's Doge team who are very young and clueless about how old government systems are built using old computer languages like COBOL, which if you're younger than 40 or 50, you probably have no idea what COBOL even is. It is an old computer language, and it has a bunch of imperfections, and one of them is related to dates. And so, for example, the year 1875, right, is marked in a certain way. So it's used, for example, to represent an unverified or unknown data set, right? And they misread that information. So they thought, oh, those people are 150 years old. No, they're not 150 years old. It's a number entered in the database in order to let people who use that database, right, authorize people who have access and who know about these quirks to flag it immediately so that they know, this person isn't actually 150 years old. Their birth date is unverified or unknown or whatever. And by the way, the people who are aged over 100, however many, they say they found millions of records of people over 100. No, there's legitimately around 80,000 or 85,000, something like that, people who are centenaries, like 100 years or more in the United States, who do legitimately get Social Security checks. There's also a system in place that blocks Social Security checks from being sent out automatically to people over the age of 115. Okay, so anybody who's 115, 116 or older is automatically not getting their Social Security check automatically. It's being sent out manually or after some verification to make sure that that person is still alive and that they should still be getting the checks, because there's not that many people over that age, right? But there are, it's certainly possible that there could be people over that age at some point. But I think at the moment, there isn't anybody in the U.S. who's older than 115. But in any case, that flag is in place automatically, because if anybody ever does reach that age, it's such a rare occurrence, you may as well flag it and run it by hand. So there's nobody getting checks who are faking that they're 300 years old. That's just not a thing. Anybody who believes that is just, you're drinking propaganda, man. I don't know what to tell you. You're drinking Elon Musk propaganda and Trump's propaganda and whatever. Like, I don't care if you like them or not. I really don't care, but stick to the facts. Nobody's marked as 300 years old and getting a check. That's complete and utter nonsense. Back to what I'm doing here in the Middle East is, at the moment, here in Israel anyway, based on the information I've seen, based on other things I've seen, this country, and I've been away from my computer for a while now, so since last night, really. I've been near. I tried to get there this morning. I had some important things to do, and I still have to do them. But since late last night, I had to step away, kind of unexpectedly, and have not been able to. I haven't even been able to check my emails or anything like that. I was able to send out a message on Discord earlier today, but that was it. Just somebody able to send some messages, but basically been away from my regular computer systems, and hopefully I'll get back there within a few hours. But anyway, in short, the analysis of what's going on is, like I said, there is probably going to be more very ugly ugliness in the coming days and weeks and months, and it's going to be pretty devastating. So, to all my friends in Israel, and to all my friends around the world, and to people in Gaza and South Lebanon, who are not involved in the fighting, I have to say, good luck, stay safe, and I wish you well. Peace.